Hello, dear students. I hope till now you are clear regarding the topics which we have covered under reported speech. Now, today I am going to discuss with you how the tenses are changed in reported speech. Earlier, we did this grammatical element, tenses, and you have been doing tenses for quite a long time. So, I hope you are aware of the different tenses that are there in English grammar. Fine. Now, how the tenses are changed from direct speech to indirect speech? There are several rules and regulations involved. Here I have tried to bring the changes in tenses in quite a simple form. As you can see, I have not mentioned any kind of change in sentence structure. I have brought only the thing that how the tense in direct speech changes into indirect speech. That is, correspondingly, how do they change, along with certain examples so that you can understand. Okay, so let's start with the first one. When the sentence is in simple present, or when the direct speech in simple present, that converts into simple past. For example, I always drink coffee, she said. Now, how can you determine this particular reported clause to be in simple present? The only way to find out is you have to look at the verb. This verb is in V1 form, or the first form of verb, drink. Now, when we convert simple present into simple past, then V1 changes into V2. So drink becomes V1, it is drink, V2 it becomes drank, and V3 it becomes drunk. So when the direct speech in simple present it converts into simple past. That is, she said that she always drank coffee. Okay? When the direct speech is in present continuous, it converts into past continuous. Now you see the first example once again. Simple present converts to simple past. That is, simple present converts into corresponding simple past. Next is present continuous changes into corresponding past continuous. Let's see the example over here. In direct speech we have this sentence, I am reading a book. Now how can you determine this reported clause in present continuous? You can simply look at the verb structure. It is am plus verb plus ing. So that converts into corresponding past continuous. How? It becomes was plus v plus ing. This way. Okay? Now come to the next one. Simple past. When the direct speech is in simple past, it changes into past perfect. That is, the V2 form of verb over here changes into, it becomes had plus V3. Remember, it is not V2, it is V3 form of verb. That is, arrive, arrived, arrived. I hope up to here it is clear to you. Alright, let's come to the next one. When the direct speech is in present perfect, it changes into past perfect. Now there are several examples that you are going to see regarding which tenses change into past perfect. There is a kind of continuity you will notice. Like if we have the sentence in direct speech in this way, I have been to Spain. Remember, this is not an example of this thing. Any other form of sentence or any other form of tense, it is past perfect. I have been to Spain. we don't speak the sentence in this way, I have gone to Spain. When you visit a place or when you have visited a place, we always use been, have plus been or had plus been to tell that. Like you will never say, I had gone to Agra. If you, after you have visited the place and you have come back, you will simply say, I have been to Agra. So this shows that you have already visited a place and then you have come back. So I have been to Spain. Now this present perfect tense changes into past perfect. That is, he told me that he had been to Spain. And you can see the sentence structure. Just previously I told you past perfect, that is had plus V3. Here also it is the same thing, it is had plus V3. Okay. Now if the direct speech is in past perfect, again that changes into past perfect. Or you can say, if the direct speech is in past perfect, there is no change when we make the, or when we convert the direct speech into indirect speech. That is, past perfect remains past perfect. So what are the, that is, which are the tenses in direct speech that converts into past perfect? Simple past converts to past perfect. Then present perfect converts to past perfect, and past perfect itself converts to past perfect. That is, I had just turned out the light. That is, had plus V3. So here also we see the same thing. He explained that he had just turned out the light. That is, had plus V3. Okay, let's come to the next one. If the direct speech is in past perfect continuous, then that converts, if the direct speech is in present perfect continuous, that converts to past perfect continuous. That is, corresponding present perfect continuous converts to the corresponding past perfect continuous. That is, they complained, we have been waiting for hours. So that becomes, they complained that they had been waiting for hours. Like what is the sentence structure we have over here? Have plus been plus verb plus ing. So here it becomes had plus been plus verb plus ing. Alright? Okay. Now, when the direct speech is in past continuous, that converts into past perfect continuous. Like, we were living in Paris, they told me. So this becomes, they told me that they had been living in Paris. The same form of sentence structure that you find, had plus been plus verb plus ing. Alright? Now, when the sentence or the direct speech is in past perfect continuous, then we see no change. That is, past perfect continuous remains past perfect continuous even in indirect speech. Now, let us see again. Simple present converts to simple past. Present continuous converts to past continuous. Simple past converts to past perfect. Present perfect converts to past perfect. Past perfect converts to past perfect. Present perfect continuous converts to past perfect continuous. Past continuous converts to past perfect continuous. And if the direct speech is in past perfect continuous, there is no change, or it simply remains past perfect continuous only. So these are the changes that occur in reported speech when we convert the tenses, or when the tense is converted from direct speech to indirect speech, or when the direct speech is converted into indirect speech, the tenses change in this form. Now what about future tense? You will find that I have not written anything regarding future tense. Now future tense, there are no certain rules for that. In grammar books you will find that they are taken under conditionals. How? Let's see over here. Like will, conditionals or modals. Now we have sentences like Suppose Ram said, I will go to Bombay. So that sentence converts to Ram said that he would go to Bombay or Mumbai, whatever you call it. This is just for an example's sake. Don't go upon the appropriateness of either it is Mumbai or Bombay. That's not important. What is important is that we have to focus upon the change of the verb. When we have future tenses in direct speech, we focus upon the verb, which are basically conditionals or modals, or you can say that future tenses in direct speech, they convert into conditionals, or they follow the rules of conditionals or modals when the direct speech converts to indirect speech. How? Like will becomes would, can becomes could, must becomes had to, may becomes might, ought to becomes ought to, it remains the same, should remains should, or you can write shall also, shall becomes should. If it is would in direct speech, it will remain would. If it is could in direct speech, it will remain could. And if it is might in direct speech, it remains might. So for future tenses, there is an exception that whenever we have future tenses in direct speech, they follow the rules of conditionals when the future tenses in direct speech convert to indirect speech. Okay? Now, we have certain exceptions here. For example, if the reporting verb is in simple present in case of direct speech, then we find no change in tenses in indirect speech. For example, now Ram says, this is a nice book. Look at the sentence very carefully. That is a speech report. Ram says. Now this is the reporting clause. Okay. Now this reporting verb is in simple present. Now the exception is when the reporting verb is in simple present, there is no change in the tense in reported clause when this is converted into indirect speech. How? This will remain as Ram says that this is a nice book. Okay? Ram says that this is a nice book. You see, there is no change in the tense when when the reported clause in the direct speech is converted into indirect speech. There is no change. Why? Because the reporting clause is in simple present. If it was not in simple present, if it was in simple past, then we would have followed the same rules that I showed you a while ago. This is one exception. Another exception is even if the reported clause is not in simple present, but if the reported clause is showing something which is universally true, or contextually there is truthfulness in that particular reported clause, then again there is no change in indirect speech. For example, Ram said, I'm giving you very simple examples. Ram says, the earth is round. Okay, now this is in direct speech. Here the reporting verb is in simple past. But look at the reported clause. Now this reported clause is something which is universally true. If you say that grammatically we can change it in this way, Ram said that the earth was round. But that is not the case. It was not that when Ram said the earth is round, at that time it was round and now it is not round. It is not like that. The earth is round always. Universal truths or any context or idea, or you can say any idea which is contextually true, will never change whenever we convert that speech report from direct speech into indirect speech. Suppose you are saying, Ram said, this film is nice. Now, suppose Ram saw the film on, say, 1st July, and he said on 1st July, the film is nice. Now you are reporting the same matter today, which is, today is 10th July. So you are reporting the matter today. Now from 1st July to 10th July, the beauty of the film or the appeal of the film is not going to diminish. It will remain nice. So when you convert that direct speech into indirect speech, that becomes, Ram said that the film is nice. Or the Ram said that this film is nice. Okay? Are you clear about the idea? I hope you are clear about the idea. So this exception you have to keep in mind. These are very simple exceptions, and that is, any universal truth will remain as it is. Any idea which is contextually true will remain as it is in indirect speech. And when the reporting verb is in simple present, the tense will remain the same in indirect speech when we convert it from the direct speech. These are the certain exceptions. Okay, so tomorrow I'll be discussing with you the change in pronouns and some other basic changes that are made under reported speech. So revise this and please take a good care of yourself. Thank you.